We're going to make some paper beads, a very simple version of some paper beads. I've already taken my piece of paper. You can use any kind of paper. I'm using some recycled magazines. And I measured across so that I have 1-inch strips. And now I'm going to go ahead and cut those 1-inch strips. When you're choosing paper, you might want to try to find brighter colors, something a little bit more interesting than what I have here. But keep in mind, for these beads, the only part that's going to show is at the end of them. So I want these red letters, so I'm just going to trim off a little bit and throw those away. Now I have several strips of paper, and I'm going to roll them into beads. So what I'll need now is a glue stick and a toothpick. This is the easiest way I have found to do this. I'm taking the side that I don't want to show, so I want this to be at the end. I'm going to go with the inside of the bead right now, and I just do a little dab of glue, about a third or a fourth down, 1/4 down. And I glue that down so that there's a little loop. Stick my toothpick inside there and inside the loop, and I hold that really tight inside the loop and I start to spin it. Now, the first couple of times that you do this, you might find it to be very difficult. You do want it nice and tight when you're twirling this around your toothpick. At some point, some students find it easier to take their toothpick out and continue to roll, keeping it nice and tight. Once in a while, I'm kind of just making sure that I'm not going diagonal, that I'm keeping a nice straight line. And then when I have about 1 inch left, I'm going to go ahead and add some more glue, finishing this up and holding it for a few seconds to make sure that my bead stays together. I've made several of these already. So we will need these beads for the bracelet that we're going to make. And this is what the bracelet is going to look like, or the beginning of it. You will need a thicker gauge wire. That's what I have here. And I measured out 1 foot. So I'll take one of my beads. First, what I think I'm going to do is kind of press this in half, not making a real solid bend there. It's more of a curve. And then I'm just going to open it back up again so that I kind of know where the center is. I'll take a bead and place that on this thicker gauge, and I want to put that in the center like so, and I'll bend these both up like that. That's what I need to get started with beading my paper beads on. Now, for the second part, I have this very, very thin wire. You could use string for this, or maybe even dental floss. I don't know, I haven't done that, but some kind of thin wire or string is going to work best. And you can see that I'm twirling this around one of the wires. And I want to do this quite a few times, and even twirling these two parts around each other, because this is what's going to keep most of the beads on. All of the beads on. Okay, once I have that, I'm going to start beading my paper beads on. So I put it through the inside hole, and it's going to rest right in between my 2 thicker gauges there. And I'm going to wrap this several times. 4, 5, maybe 6 times. Wrapping it around like so. And then I'm going to go and bring that wire back through that bead again to the other side. Oops. Caught up with that other one. Again, I'll wrap it maybe 5 times. 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I'm going to add another bead. I'll continue doing this until I have run out of this thin wire. 1, 2, 3, and so on. Now, the thin wire does run out. You don't want it super long, otherwise it's hard to manage. So here's one that I've been working on for a while. When you do run out, you need to finish it off. So I just wrap it around until it is no longer. It's all completely wrapped around like so. And I'm going to start the same way that I did before. So taking this wire piece, wrapping, 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 wrapping several times, and then even twist tying these. So tying them together, just so that we have a good start and a nice solid base. Maybe wrap this around so that it's nice and tight too. So if you run out of wire, you're just going to get some more and continue. So I'll string the beads on until I run to the end. At the end of this, I have looped these around with pliers, and then the final step will be to bend this and make it into a cuff bracelet, just like that.